What is going on, guys? My name's Justin Schollard, owner of Carbon Transformations, and I got a very special presentation I put together for you today. And this is going to be called the 4-step fix. Okay, it's a very simple 4-step plan for losing 10 pounds of body fat every month and beyond. I know that's a bold statement, but this is the exact program that we bring our clients through to not only show them how to enjoy the foods that they love, but get the weight off, and then most importantly, keep it off forever. Okay, so let's go ahead and dig in here, guys. So who is this for? This is for anyone who has struggled to lose weight in the past, been stuck or plateaued, and just can't figure out how to break through. I talk to a lot of people, and I hear just the frustration, like you're doing everything right, you're working out, you're eating clean, you're drinking your water, but you just cannot get that weight off, right? So this is for anyone who feels trapped in the cycles of gaining and losing and is just kind of fed up and of trying so many different programs out there that never really seem to produce lasting results. Like raise of hands, who here has done like a 6-week transformation challenge or something like that, where maybe you can out train and starve yourself for 6 weeks, but then as soon as the program is over, you gain it all back, right? But if you're finally ready to lose that 20, 30, 50 pounds or even more, guys, but feel like it's hopeless, this is for you. Okay, so what I want to do, guys, in the next 30, 40 minutes or so here is I want to teach you how within the next 3 to 6 months we can get to your goal. In fact, most people I talk to, no matter how crazy or no matter how hopeless it feels for you, is only at most 6 months or so away from their goal. And even if that seems ridiculous or impossible right now, I'm going to show you how to create a sustainable meal plan that never leaves you feeling restricted, never leaves you feeling deprived or hungry for that matter. In fact, the biggest complaint I get is that they feel like it's too much damn food. They're like, oh my God, so much food. So we're going to talk about how to set yourself up for success each and every week without feeling like you're missing out or avoiding social events, because that's a big one, right? We don't want to just sequester ourselves away at home. We want to be able to participate with life and still enjoy our life and enjoy our food and trust ourselves in those situations. And we'll talk about that. And finally, guys, I want to show you how we can do all this while still enjoying the foods that you love, spending as little time as possible at the gym, and building a healthy habit so that you never have to worry about falling off track again. Too good to be true? I'm about to show you how. Okay, so my promise to you is that we are going to do a step-by-step strategy. We're going to walk through this thing together, okay? How for losing 10 pounds a month consistently without ever feeling deprived or burned out. All right, we do have some house rules, though. I have to manage expectations here, guys. This is not a magic pill solution. You have to put in the work. I can show you the path, but you have to walk down it. There are no shortcuts. And one of the things I tell my clients is that anything worth doing in life takes effort, right? Anything worth doing in life takes time and it takes effort. And this is just as important as anything else that we're doing. So the results I'm about to show you are from clients who did 100% of what I told them. Okay, so the results I'm going to show you here are not from people who slacked off. They're people who took it seriously, their health and fitness seriously, and got the freaking results they came here for. I know, shocker, right? So basically, guys, your success or lack thereof is entirely up to you, okay? So let me ask you this. Does this sound like you? That you feel frustrated because it seems like no matter what you do, you cannot seem to lose the weight and keep it off? Do you find yourself getting motivated to start a new diet or a new program, but then plateau or stall out after about 4 to 6 weeks? Do you feel overwhelmed with all the different information out there around weight loss? I know it can be very confusing. There's a lot of different diets and pills and programs, and oh my gosh. And do you see other people working less hard but getting better results? I see that, right? We all have that friend who can just do push-ups and squats and look like a bathing suit model, right? And do you wish that for once that you just knew exactly what to do to build the body that you know you're capable of having? Bet you do. I know I did. And have you told yourself that maybe, this is a good one, have you told yourself that maybe you just have bad genetics, or that somehow there's something wrong with your body and that maybe that's why you just gave up? Well, let's talk about the problem, guys. So the problem is that we haven't made the right shifts with your nutrition. right? You've heard this before, and I'm going to say it again to you. It's all about nutrition. And if you make these key shifts, if you make these right shifts that we're about to go over, it will unlock your potential, to unlock your results, and finally give you the information that you've been looking for. And then once you make them, guys, you're going to have complete control over what you eat, and you're going to realize that nothing's off limits. There's not, oh, that's bad and that's good. You're going to realize that it's just food, it's just calories. And when you understand calories on a deeper level, you have complete control over your life now. You're not at the mercy of your belief systems around carbohydrates are bad or protein is bad. It's like we're going to break all those beliefs. We're going to show you how to implement this in your life properly, okay? So you're going to understand how to build meal plans around the foods that you love so you can be consistent and never fall off track again. And you're going to do all of this without ever feeling overwhelmed, deprived, or restricted. You'll know exactly what to do in any situation. Restaurants, birthday parties, vacations, work dinners, you name it. We're going to give you the tools that you need to navigate all that effectively. Okay, so guys, quick story. Who am I? Who's this guy talking to you on the screen here? Well, I've been a health coach in Los Angeles for 16 years. I came out here in 2005, I guess it was. I decided I was one of those guys, I was just going to skip college. I'm like, I'm just going to go straight to work. And I started working with people and working on weight loss. And, like anybody, I started at the bottom and I worked my way up. And I got to the point where my clientele was so busy, I had to open up a gym because I just couldn't take on as many people that I was working with. So I opened up my first gym called Strength RX. I'm actually wearing the Strength RX hoodie in this picture here. That's actually at Strength RX. Loved it. We had it for 8 years. Opened up a second gym called Carbon Personal Training, which we've converted into the Carbon Transformation Program that we're talking about. I wrote a book called The Performance Code, and I'm currently writing a new book called Straight Line Weight Loss, where I break weight loss down into 3 different phases that we're all going to go through, which we're going to talk a lot about on this presentation. I've been featured in the CrossFit Journal, BuzzFeed, Soul Pancakes, Open Sky Podcast, and other publications that, to be honest with you, I can't remember. Over my career, I have studied nutrition like you wouldn't believe. And most importantly, I didn't just study it out of a textbook. I have real world experience working with over 5,000 people through my gyms, through my online programs. I've worked with enough people to get them down where I feel confident in saying that I've perfected the 20-pound in 12-week strategy that we're going to go over here, and exactly what you're about to learn in helping clients achieve sustainable weight loss. Like, my mantra is always sustainable weight loss, because you could starve yourself and do 2 hours of cardio a day, but that's not sustainable. Then you gain it all back, and then you're worse off than when you started. So we're going to show you how to do this sustainably. So this is about food you enjoy. It's not about starvation, and really just creating a lifestyle around this. And we're good at what we do, guys. 4 out of 5 of our clients lose 20 pounds or more in their first 12 weeks. In fact, we guarantee that in our programs. So we specialize in helping clients achieve these results through a customized nutrition, personalized exercise, and then one-on-one direct accountability with a coach. And that fitness, nutrition, accountability framework is the basis of all of our programs. And so that's a little backstory on me, guys. All right, so moving on. Okay, so what we're going to talk about now, let's go ahead and just dig right in, shall we? So we're going to talk about the 6 shifts that my most successful clients made in not only losing the weight, but most importantly, keeping it off forever. And so we're going to talk about what my most successful clients have done and do currently to keep that weight off forever. Okay, so the 6 key shifts that you must make to get the results you want, to be empowered with food, to learn how to trust yourself, to love what you eat. I know, shocker, right? And still lose weight and never gain that weight back again. And build the support system you need. Set those boundaries. Be clear on your intentions. I'm going to walk you through all 6 of those shifts in this session, okay? So shift number 1, guys, let's go ahead and dig in. You must take 100% responsibility. The first step to making any lasting change is to accept that you and only you are responsible for the state of your health, okay? Now, no one can do the push-up for you. You're the one that brings the fork to your mouth. Your husband's may be a picky eater. Your wife may be a picky eater. Maybe your kids are picky eaters, but at the end of the day, guys, this is your body, this is your health, and you have to take 100% responsibility for where you're at. When you finally accept that the reason that you are where you are is because of the choices that you've made up to this point, then you can start to make real change. And that some of you might not like that. You might not like that tough love and that harder talk, but I'm telling you the truth, that transformation happens at the moment we take responsibility for ourselves, all right? And once we do that, once we step into taking full responsibility, we can then take action and do the things that we need to do to get to where you want to be. Because at the end of the day, guys, life is a mirror, and your body is reflecting back to you the choices that you have made up to this point, okay? The bottom line is that everything I'm about to show you is built on this foundation of taking 100% responsibility. So to get the best results possible, to teach you how to have complete nutrition autonomy, and to show you how to eat the foods you love and never feel deprived and keep losing weight, all starts with us taking 100% responsibility for where we're at, okay? So shift number 2, guys, is we have to let go of perfectionism. And this might seem strange to you. This might seem counterintuitive, like, well, but you also have to take responsibility and be perfect. It's like, whoa. I want your numbers to be good, right? Like I want to see as good a numbers as possible, but there's a difference in perfectionism, right? Like having a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. And what I've noticed and working with so many people is that all or nothing thinking, perfectionist thinking is actually self-sabotage and procrastination disguised as a virtue, right? We think that perfectionism is a virtue, right? Like it imbues us with a sense of like being otherworldly in a way, when really it's just sabotage. It's just procrastination, right? We're actually not getting anything done because we keep telling ourselves, well, if I can't go 110%, then I'm not going to do it. But then you tell yourself that for 10 years and you're worse off than you were. What you realize is that good enough is good enough. And just showing up and doing your best every day is going to put you leaps and bounds ahead of the person who just keeps waiting for the perfect time to start, right? So you just got to keep showing up and doing your best. Make a commitment to just do what you can each and every day. Some days you're going to crush it. Some days you're going to be on fire. Other days you're going to not be on fire, and life's going to come at you hard, and it's on those days that it matters. You get 1 point for doing the thing you have to do when you feel like it, but you get 2 points for doing the things that you have to do when you don't feel like it, right? And that's the difference between the people who are successful and the people who spend their whole life struggling, is the degree to which you can just show up and do your best and not want to quit because you felt like you didn't live up to some arbitrary standard that you set for yourself, okay? So perfectionism, bad. Growth mindset, doing our best when we can, not sweating the small stuff, good. Okay. Moving on, shift number 3, and this kind of ties back into perfectionism, is just start. Just do the damn thing, right? Like, don't overthink it. Don't make a mountain out of a molehill. Quit thinking that like there is some magical point in your life where the clouds are going to part and sun's going to shine and all of your schedule is going to get wide open and you have all this time to finally do the thing. It's like that's not reality, right? Life only gets more complicated. The time is, in fact, the best time is 20 years ago, and the second best time is now. That's quoted from a wise person. I don't know who said it first. But like, guys, there's never going to be a perfect time to start, right? But when you look back in 3 or 6 months from now, you're going to be so proud of yourself for just taking action and just realizing that like you're going to learn a lot of this stuff as you go. You can't expect yourself to know what 6 months from now is going to look like. You don't know. But when you start today and you just go through this process of iteration and just figure it out, well, that didn't work. Okay, this works. And you keep honing in on what works. You eventually, over the course of months, you hone in on your process and you look back in that same period of time that you would have kept telling yourself you had to wait and realize that you have now achieved your goal because you just started and you realize that you're going to learn through the process of doing. So guys, just start. Just start where you are. Start with it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to have a sore ankle, right? Like, don't keep making rationalizations why you need to keep waiting another week. Just go, just start. So let's do a little case study, guys. We got case study number 1. This is one of my first clients back in the day, as in like last year when I went online. First online client. And her name is Christina. Obviously, you can tell by her pictures, she's got some pretty freaking amazing results. And if you can see a little arrow there, I'm pointing to her review for me, where she said in the first 7 weeks, she was already down 20 pounds. And now, if you want to read her review, you can certainly go ahead and screenshot that, zoom in if you'd like. But, you know, she was this person who had tried everything, right? Diet pills, keto, gym programs, Weight Watchers. She was just classic. I am so frustrated. Nothing works for me. I don't understand. Everything is like they want me to buy their prepackaged meals that are color-coded or some arbitrary point system. But she never understood nutrition, never understood calories in a way that was going to give her sustainable results forever, until she found us. And so she was skeptical. I had the phone call with her. You know, she was on the phone. She wanted it so badly, but was nervous because she'd already made so many errors, you know, not errors, but just was going on the wrong path, which a lot of us can relate to. But by the end of the program, we got her down 36 pounds, 36 pounds, right? And we did this without her ever feeling starving, without her ever having to overtrain, right? We had to get that out of our head, think that we can out-train a bad diet. Doesn't happen that way, folks. It's all about nutrition, right? One of the things I tell my clients is that exercise is important. It's for fitness and strength, and we got to tone our muscles and make our bones more dense and become more athletic, but nutrition is for weight loss. And so we put on an awesome workout routine that fit into her life, but the focus was always around nutrition and consistency, and the results speak for themselves, okay? All right, so how do we do this for ourselves? Cool, Justin, there's a girl who lost 40 pounds. Now, how do we do this for ourselves? Well, I'm about to show you our secret weapon. The thing that Jenny Craig and Weight Watchers, they don't want you to know, because if you knew this, you wouldn't have to keep buying their crap, right? You'd be independent. But we're going to show it to you. You have to understand calories. I know. Shift number 14, understand your calories, aka the secret weapon, right? Now, I have a picture of a nutrition facts label here, because you need to flip that package over. Don't look at the front of the package. That's marketing. Oh, healthy, made with real fruit. Da 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 da. They want. That's like a decoy. They want to distract you, so you don't flip the back of the package over and actually read what's in it. But when you read what's in it, you might be surprised. Right? So you have to learn this stuff. You have to understand calories, guys, because calories are king. And don't get distracted by flashy names like keto, intermittent fasting, carb cycling. All that is just a way for you to reduce your overall calorie intake. At the end of the day, guys, it is calories in, calories out. Your body, everybody's body, if you are alive and breathing and your heart is pumping, your body is burning calories. There's a certain amount of calories, and everybody's different. There's a certain amount of calories your body's burning off. You do not defy physics. If you eat less than your body burns off, you will be in a caloric deficit. If you are in a caloric deficit, you will lose weight, right? So how do we know? How do we know if we're in a caloric deficit? Guys, you have to track your calories. MyFitnessPal, Fitbit, we have one that we have our clients use. There's all kinds of these out there. They're all functioning similarly, but you got to get in there. You got to start plugging things away, and you got to start seeing how much you're consuming, and you might be surprised. And you got to be on it. Especially where we're in this first phase, this first fat loss phase. Laser focus. And what I tell my clients is that it's not a life sentence, guys. Like, you don't have to do this forever. We need to do it for enough time to get you to your goal weight. Get that 50, 60 pounds off of you, and then we can loosen up a little bit. But commit to a period of time, count those calories, track it, weigh your food, and get down to that darn goal weight. Because at the end of the day, guys, if nothing changes, nothing changes. Okay. So what's the old way, right? So the old way of fitness, and I have this like screenshot of a shake weight, which was actually probably only like 10 or 15 years ago, but it just seems so ancient, you know? But like, you know, remember there was a thing that used to go on people's butts and would vibrate, and like the Thigh Master, and they just had these like ripped models. They still probably have these infomercials, but guys, it's like, don't get distracted by shiny object syndrome, right? A shake weight ain't gonna do it. You know what I mean? Like we got to get real. We have to get serious. So old way was like all these old arbitrary rules, right? One of them would be like, stop eating after 7 p.m. I'm here to tell you, it doesn't matter. You can eat all your calories at midnight. If we're hitting the right amount of calories, it doesn't matter when you eat them. Do cardio, right? Well, cardio alone will never get you to your goal because you cannot out-train a bad diet. How about this one? Oh, let me go back. There we go. Sorry about that. So how about this one? Cut out carbs. Okay, cool. Cut out an entire macronutrient group, and guess what? You will be feeling like crap within 2 weeks because your body needs carbohydrates. Carbohydrates get into your muscles and it makes them full of glycogen so you can actually lift weights and feel stronger and you know, improve. And not to mention your brain likes carbohydrates for thinking. So you pull those out of your diet, your body has to convert fats as energy like crazy all of a sudden, and just like that process will just leave you feeling like crap. Meal delivery, that's cool. There's some good ones, but the bottom line is that it doesn't change the fundamental behavior. So if you're a snacker, if you have a sweet tooth, you can get a healthy meal delivery and you can eat all that food, but then you're still going to have a problem that you haven't fundamentally changed the problem around snacking. So that's still going to be an issue. Boot camps, spin, boxing classes, again, kind of goes back to just cardio. You can't out-train a bad diet, guys. Diet pills, they might work for a second, but it just only creates dependency on that, right? So then what good are you without it? So you're going to be on diet pills for the rest of your life. What's that going to do to your liver and your kidneys after years of being on diet pills, right? So it's just not sustainable. And then lastly, you know, lipo, the sleeve, bypass surgery. I mean, guys, like brutal recovery. You might be thinking, but Justin, I have 100 pounds to lose. I know, I get it. And I have clients that have 100 pounds to lose. And here's what's going to happen. And I have clients who have 100 pounds to lose now who have already had gastric bypass, who have already had the sleeve. And then guess what happens? They get the sleeve, they lose 50, 60, 70, 80 pounds, but the fundamental behavior that got them to that point in the first place never changes. And so then they slowly start finding ways to get those calories back in, and within a year or two, like clockwork, they've gained 80, 90 pounds back, and here they are now working with me in a way to try to change their relationship with food and their behavior so they can get this weight off forever. So guys, there are no quick fixes. That was the old way of doing things, right? But the new way, and how we're going to make this lifestyle for you now is by counting your macros, understanding macros, okay? So you don't need to run for an hour a day. You don't need to burn yourself out on a spin bike. You don't need to cut carbohydrates. And you don't ever need to go under the knife for weight loss surgery. What you need to do is a simple calorie target that focuses on your proteins, your carbs, and your fats, aka macros. And it looks like this, okay? So you're going to determine your calorie intake for the day. And we'll go into a little bit more detail of this in a second. You're going to break those into their macros, proteins, carbs, and fats, okay? And then you're going to pick the foods that you love. So every food on the planet is a protein, a carb, or a fat, or some combination of that. Everything is. And so all you got to do is just determine your intake for the day, break it down into its proteins. Okay, so let's say you're going to eat 2,000 calories, break that into proteins, carbs, and fats. Pick the foods that you love, and then just follow the meal, and then just plug it all in your tracker and just follow it like a script. And then most importantly, guys, stay the course. Consistency is such a rare commodity these days, right? But that really is the key. We've all heard that, right? Okay, so a perfect meal plan that we just touched on, we're going to go over in more detail in a second. It gives you control over the foods that you eat, right? It allows you freedom to have larger meals so you don't feel hungry. Maybe you're like, I don't want to eat 6 small meals a day. Maybe I just want to eat 2 or 3 big meals and just feel full. That's great. That's how I do it too. But it gives you the option to eat whatever you want. Whatever you want. Maybe today you feel like having a little ice cream. Is that bad? No, it's not bad. It's okay. And that's the mindset shift we have to get into. It's that it's not bad. You're not a bad person because you had a bite of ice cream, you know? We just want to make sure we're putting it against our calories or finding room for it and it fits. And if we can do that, you can enjoy the foods you like forever, right? And it's also, it shifts you away from having this temporary mindset of like a diet, like I'm gonna diet for 3 weeks, and choose a permanent lifestyle. Like, hey, these are just my numbers. This is what my body burns off. I know that. And these are how many calories I need to eat in order to maintain my figure. And so it just becomes a permanent lifestyle. And within those numbers, go ahead and choose whatever foods you enjoy to make it happen. Cool. All right. So building a perfect meal plan as promised. All right. So we talked about proteins, carbs, and fats. So what we need to do, guys, I'm going to give you some examples here, is we need to determine your calorie limit for the day. And that's be based off of your goal and your goal weight, right? So if you're 5'5" and you're 200 pounds, but the goal is to get down to 150, well, then we're going to want to eat probably somewhere, let's just say around 1,500 or so, right? It's going to depend on the person, but let's just use 1,500 calories as an example. We're going to break those calories into their proteins, their carbs, and their fats. An example of that, if we were to break 1,500 calories into their proteins, carbs, and fats, an example would look like that would be about 120 grams of protein a day, 150 grams of carbohydrates, about 45 grams of fat. Cool. And so from these numbers here, which are your macros, we're going to build your meal log in the MyFitnessPal or the Fitbit or whatever meal tracker you'd like, and in advance. So you just plug that in in advance for the day, and then you just follow it like a script. You just rinse and repeat, and that's it. The food choices you use each day or each week can interchange. Maybe you want to have chicken for lunch, but the next day you want to have tofu for lunch. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you hit those numbers. And so you can use whatever food you prefer as long as you honor your calorie target, your proteins, your carbs, and your fats. As long as you hit those, it doesn't matter what food. So like I said, that ice cream earlier, maybe that, 4 ounces of ice cream might have 100 grams of carb, or probably 50 grams of carbohydrates in it. Okay, cool. So you're just going to choose that day to get 50 of your carbohydrates from ice cream, and you can eat 100 from rice or quinoa or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So that's the mindset we have to start getting into, guys, for this to become a sustainable lifestyle program. Okay, I want to talk about Jordan. She was an all-star client. This is case study number 2. And now she was classic, like just burning it on both ends, too busy, was sleeping like crap, 2 jobs, trying to finish a degree. And so what would happen, and she was like, when we had our call, she was like, I don't understand, because she's like, I undereat, actually. Her problem was she underate, right? Well, she thought she underate. Really what was happening is she would skip meals. So in her mind, she was undereating, when really she was skipping meals that would then trigger her for a binge. So maybe for 3 or 4 or 5 days, she would only have 700 calories, some crazy low number. But then she'd have a day off, and her body would just start screaming for food because she'd been starved out for the last 4 days. And so she would make up all those calories in 1 or 2 days of binging. And that was just the cycle she was in for years and years and years. And she got to a point where she was really unhappy with her weight. So she did a program with me, and we got her down 25 pounds. So this is her weigh-in graph. We started out at 206, and we got her down to 181 by the end of it. So we went from 206 to 181. Here's her transformation photo. So this is before and after. I mean, significant weight loss. And then she's still going now. I think she's down like another 10 at this point. So she's just cranking along. Really, and all these people that I'm talking about, we have testimonial videos of them talking. Her and I are interviewed on my Facebook page, so you can go and check those out if you want to after. One of the big takeaways that she got was just how sustainable this was, how she just feels so empowered to eat whatever she wants to eat, and now she knows just how many calories she needs to consume, and from those calories, if she wants to just have a day where I want to have burger and fries, I'm just going to get all my calories in one meal from a burger and a fry, and that's it for today. That's a choice that she's making responsibly in order to maintain her body, but still enjoy the foods that she loves every so often. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so guys, in the past year, I've been exclusively online. Before then, I owned 2 gyms, StrengthRx, which we already talked about, like I'm wearing the hoodie, StrengthRx in this picture. But now my new one here, Carbon, there was a personal training studio, I recently sold it, but I'm 100% online, guys. And I gotta tell you, it's been amazing. Our online clients get better results than our in-person clients did. And I think the reason is because it shifts you from a gym membership to like you're in a program where you're actually learning and there's just a level of participation in doing this online program that teaches you everything you need to know for the rest of your life, where no gym membership could ever really offer that, because it was always at such a large number of people that you could never give them the one-on-one individualized attention. So in the last 12 weeks, we've put over 300 people through this, and we've got them down, like I said, 4 out of 5 of our clients lose at least 20 pounds in their first 12 weeks. And I did some rough numbers, and about every 7 days you have a client cross the 20-pound mark in the Carbon Transformation Program. And they didn't do this from starvation diets. They did not do this from excessive cardio or from some crazy diet pill. Nope, sorry guys. Sorry to all my haters out there. They did this by learning the food tracking system that I'm teaching you now, that they're able to use the rest of their life to keep the weight off for good. So I'm very proud of what we've been doing. Okay guys, so quick recap real quick here. So we know that we got to take 100% responsibility. That's the first step, is just taking ownership of where we're at. And we know that we can eat anything that you want as long as it fits into your calorie budget. So there's nothing necessarily off the table as long as we make it fit ahead of time. And once you figure out your calorie budget, then we just got to break those into their proteins, their carbs, and their fats, which are called macros. And so now we figured that stuff out. We figured out the calorie stuff. So now let's talk about how we're going to leverage your time so we can set yourself up for success without losing your mind, okay? So shift number 5, guys, is you have to plan ahead. I can't stress this enough. You have to plan ahead. You have to plan your week in advance. Like you have to treat this like any other non-negotiable. Like you schedule things. You make time for your favorite TV shows. You make time to pick the kids up from school. You make time to do all these things. This needs to be just as important as anything else in your life, okay? So we got to plan it ahead. We have to be proactive, not reactive. Proactive is take 10 minutes on a Sunday. Okay, I'm going to block out a little time for my lunch. Got to make sure that everything's set away. Okay, I'm going to plan program everything in my Fitness Pal. Reactive is like, I didn't do any of that. Now the week got ahead of me, and oh man, I'm gonna have to go through drive-through to get some lunch because I didn't plan my meal. So you're just reacting to the day as it comes to you, and it's a mess. And that's how we get in trouble, as opposed to being proactive with a game plan and setting ourselves up for success. And so, case study number 3, guys, Rachel. So man, she probably has some of the best transformation photos of anybody in the program. And the funny thing is she actually didn't lose as much weight as some of the other people did, but she lost crazy inches, and it was a complete body composition transformation for her, right? So, she was on allergy meds, thyroid medications that all had these side effects. She really was at a point where she was convinced that she just couldn't lose weight. She thought something was wrong with her. But the bottom line is that as clean, quote unquote, as she thought she was eating, she wasn't tracking her calories. And so happy hour here, a couple of beers here, frozen pizza there. Even though for the most part she was eating healthy, none of that necessarily was wrong, but she just wasn't seeing how it fit into the budgets for her calories. And so she just was a little unsure. She just wasn't sure actually about how many she was eating. And so we got her tracking her food. We got her on the program. We got her completely squared away, on the right track. And then she literally dropped 16 pounds and 5 inches in her first 6 weeks. It was just like, woof. And her progress photos, these progress photos, guys, are only 6 weeks apart. All right, these are Scouts honor. These are only 6 weeks apart. Crazy, crazy, crazy. She worked her butt off, and she's one of my stars for sure. Okay, moving on. Okay. So brings us to our last shift, guys. And what do all 3 of those clients that we just talked about have in common? They got a coach. They hired help. They realized they had blind spots. They realized that even though in their mind they thought they were doing everything okay, the scale was saying otherwise. And that's the first step in any transformation, is realizing that there's something you are missing. And if you weren't missing it, you would already be where you want to be. So the bottom line is that the right coach can literally 10x your results. Literally, because sometimes when we're in it, we can't see something that's so obvious for someone like me to just be like, oh yeah, you gotta do this, this, and this, boom. And literally save you a decade of struggling and pain and frustration and just give you the damn answers, just give you the right answers and just give you the cheat codes, so to speak, so you can just get to your goal immediately, have the tools, and just enjoy the rest of your freaking life, right? Okay, so here's how this whole thing works, right? Because really what we're talking about here is mindset. It's a mindset shift. And the level of your health and the level of your happiness is really just a reflection of your actions, and your actions are a reflection of your mindsets. So your mindsets are your beliefs about what are possible and the quality of your ideas, right? So you believe that not tracking your food is okay, right? Okay, so then your action is you just eat whatever you feel like eating, and then the outcome is you keep gaining weight every year. That's a mindset, right? So to change your outcome, you have to change your mindset. You have to swallow your ego and just surrender and realize that there is something that you are missing. And so let me ask you this, guys. Like, how many years have you been struggling to lose weight? Are you happy with your current situation? And if you're not where you want to be, you need a new mindset. You need a plan. You need accountability. You need a coach. You need someone in your corner that can speak truth to you, not your partner or your spouse, not your best friend who's going to try to make you feel better, but like a third party who can just give you the real answer, cut to the chase, be real with you, give you the plan you need and the accountability you need to follow through. Let me ask you this, okay? Ask yourself, what is the cost of inaction? Now, I don't know, maybe you're 25, maybe you're 35, maybe you're 45 or 55. I'm telling you, I talk to each one of those age groups every single day. Now, the average person that I'm speaking with is spending roughly between $50 and $100 a week on takeout, convenience food, booze, candy, restaurants, things that are essentially making them more miserable, right? Which breaks down about $3,000 to $5,000 a year, okay? So if you're 45 years old and you've been struggling with this for 10 years, but yet you've been spending $5,000 a year on the things that are making you miserable, you've invested $50,000 into making yourself miserable. I know, that's crazy, right? Like, that's nuts when you think about it that way. And then here's to boot, 1 out of 10 Americans are diabetic. And it just so happens that everyone I get on the phone with, not everyone, but many are diabetic or pre-diabetic. Like, the majority of people I speak with are already diabetic or they're pre-diabetic, okay? 1 out of 3 deaths in America are preventable because of just health issues that weren't taken care of, because the same person at 25, 35, 45, and 55 still convinces themselves that now's not the right time to start. And then you've been telling yourself that since you were 25 years old, and now you're 45 and you're diabetic, right? So when is the right time to start, right? So instead of trying to save a quick buck and do it yourself, hiring a coach is probably going to be the most valuable use of your time and investment, because here's the reality, and this is just a screenshot. So if you can see down here, I went on Google and I just literally Googled, how much does diabetes cost? Diabetes costs $16,000 per year. So $16,700 a year is how much it costs on average medical expenditures to be diabetic, okay? So if you think you can't afford a coach, let me tell you, you've spent $3,000 to $5,000 a year up to the point, and then if you end up getting diabetes, which 1 out of 10 Americans have, and 1 out of 3 are on the cusp of getting, it's going to cost you $16,000 a year for the rest of your life. And then you got needles in your arm, and it ain't pretty. It ain't pretty, right? So ask yourself, really, are you sure you can't afford it? I think the answer is you can't afford not to, right? So now you have a choice, guys. So what I've done is I've showed you what my most successful clients are doing to lose 20 to 30 pounds in their first 12 weeks and beyond. They take 100% responsibility. They stop blaming others. They stop blaming medication. They stop blaming their genetics. They stop blaming their husbands or their wives or their spouses or their kids or their parents or their community, and they just go, right? They stop being a perfectionist. They stop being an all or nothing person, because all or nothing is going to get you screwed. That is not a virtue. That is not a good trait. It's screwing you over. It's holding you back from your potential. They stop waiting for the right time to start. Right? The best time to start was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. Right now. Because we know what's going to happen in another 5 or 10 years if we keep waiting. Right? You understand now that calories are king. Calories are king. You got to eat less than you consume. And once you understand that, you can eat whatever you want. Right? You can have whatever. You can make up those calories in whatever you feel like doing, because you're going to understand on a deeper level. You understand proteins, carbs, and fats. And you understand if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? You got to plan your weeks ahead. You can't be reactive to the week. You got to be proactive and spend a sliver of time, 10 minutes, and just make sure you got everything ready to rock and roll for the week so you can be successful. And then number 6, guys, the cost of inaction, right? 1 out of 10 people are diabetic in America. Crazy. 1 out of 3 are pre-diabetic, right? Everyone thinks that now is on the right time. Everyone thinks they can't afford it. Well, we now know that diabetes is $16,000 a year, so you can't afford not to, right? All right. And so, guys, I'm going to ask you this. If you keep doing the same things that you've always been doing and hope to get different results, and you keep hoping for the next flashy diet fad or the new exercise equipment, only to find yourself in the exact same place 6 months later. Or you can take action. You can start learning the tools that you need to get the weight off the rest of your life. Get real. No more shiny objects, no more fad diets, no more lying to yourself or rationalizing why it's okay to put things off. We're taking action, and just stop struggling and finally stop yo-yoing and become that version of yourself that you know you can be, that you know you want to be, right? So here's how it can help you. So me and my team, we've set aside some time the next 48 hours to speak with you personally, okay? One-on-one. We're gonna talk about how we can build these healthy habits into your life starting today. And trust me when I say this, guys, whatever your biggest challenges are, we've seen it 1,000 times and we know how to overcome it. It might seem crazy and real and unique to you, but you gotta trust that this is all we do all day, every day. All day we take these calls, all day. And whatever you're going through, we've already coached somebody through it. Trust me. So here's how it works, okay? We're going to hop on a quick call for about 30 minutes, and we're going to start working on identifying your challenges and your roadblocks, and we're going to give you a step-by-step game plan to hit your goal within the next year. So we'll say, hey, what's your year-long goal? Okay, you want to lose 50 pounds, you want to lose 100 pounds. We're going to help you reverse engineer that and give you the exact steps you need to make that a reality, whether it's 20 pounds or 120, it doesn't matter. There's no job too small or too big for us to handle, okay? And we're going to do this while showing you how to still enjoy the foods that you love, so you never have to feel like you're being deprived or that you're being restricted, right? We're going to show you how to incorporate things that you enjoy. Everybody is different. You're different. And our programs are 100% customized to your needs, okay? And what's the cost for this phone call, right? You're like, what's the catch, buddy? What's the catch? It's free. It's free. Scouts Honor, one more time, whatever that is. Scouts Honor, guys. The coaching call is 100% free, okay? So who is this for? Well, first of all, this is for someone who, first of all, you got to want it, right? Like, we're not going to beg you to get healthy and to take care of yourself and to get on the right track, right? You got to need it. So if you're just looking to lose, 5 to 10 vanity pounds, this just isn't the right program for you. We can help you find somebody that's a better fit, but we're looking for people who are real need here. And most importantly, guys, you got to be coachable, right? Like, if you're too stubborn and you're stuck in your own ways and you're unwilling to change and you can't receive the information or implement these tools that we want to show you in your life, then we can't help you. So if that's you, if you're not any of those, if you're coachable and you need it and you want it, then I want you to book your session right now. I want you to book your free coaching call with me and my team right now, okay? And why are we doing this, guys? You're probably asking, like, what the hell, guy? Why would you do this? Well, first of all, because we love helping people, you can't not love helping people and do what we do, right? We want to see you live a healthy life. We want to see you lead by example. We want to see you pass these healthy habits and traits onto your kids so your kids can pass it on to their kids. Or maybe you don't have kids, but you just want to lead by example and show the people around you in your life that you can become this version of yourself that you know you can be. We're going to break these habits that are keeping you stuck, right? So either way, get on the call with us. We'll get more clarity, and we're going to get some insight into what's holding you back, and you're going to have more direction. You're going to have more information around what's getting in your way than you've ever had before, we promise, okay? So here's what we're going to do, guys. I want you to click that button below, and what's going to happen is it's going to bring you to a schedule. There's going to be a bunch of times you can pick, so you're just going to pick the time that works best for you. Select it, just fill in your name and your email and your phone number to call you on, hit submit, and then just be ready. Just be ready for that phone call. We will call you at that scheduled time. And you know what I want to tell you is that every 30-pound plus weight loss success story we've ever had, it started with someone making the same choice that you're about to make right now, right? You have to book the call, you have to take action, and don't let another year go by, right? Like, how many years have you been telling yourself that you want to do this? How many times have you started a 6-week program or a 12-week program and just found yourself worse off than when you started, or gained all the weight back, right? The unfortunate reality is that 97% of people who lose weight gain it all back within a year or two, right? Because they were never on a sustainable plan to begin with. They were doing either a crash diet, or they were doing some excessive workout program that just left them feeling burned out or overwhelmed. So we need to personalize this now. It's time to get this personalized for you. Have this fit in your lifestyle, right? Not just some templated cookie cutter nutrition plan, but we're going to show you how to incorporate the things that you enjoy so you can get results, and most importantly, keep those results off forever. We're going to show you how you don't have to be on that treadmill for an hour doing cardio every day, that you can just get outside for some walks, do some light resistance band workouts in the house, and still get some amazing results and lose that 10 pounds every month and beyond, when we guarantee all of our programs. So guys, click that button below. Don't procrastinate. Procrastination results in zero transformations, right? Take action, step into your power, and help us help you become that version of yourself that you know you can be. Book that free call, and I'm looking forward to talking to you very soon.